Did you have a picture growing up of Linda, your future wife, on your wall? I did.
You and many others, mate. You and many others.
How did you two meet them? Tell me about that.
Who's your dream woman? I went, Linda Lusardi. I'm going to marry Linda Lusardi. 20 years goes by after this brief conversation.
Manifested me. When our relationships fell apart individually, we decided to...
What did you think of each other when you first met? Sam and Linda, how are we?
We're good, thank you.
Oh, it's really nice to see you. I know, it's so long. We were discussing it actually before, weren't we? So not seeing each other since it was Blackpool, and I reckon it was 2008. I'm not sure if you were there, Linda, but the first time I met you both was 2003, and it was Drop the Celebrity. Do you remember that?
Oh my God, were you actually on the
I was on the other plane. You were on the first episode, and I was on the second one with
Did they actually do two?
Yeah, they did two. Cheryl broke her ankle. Cheryl
broke her ankle on ours. I thought that'd be it.
No. We did, but it was the same day. Do you not remember? They done two episodes.
Oh,
one was probably
right.
broadcast on the Saturday night, and one was on the Sunday night. It was over a weekend. It was ITV's big flagship new reality show. Is that something you put on your CV? I omit that one.
You know, when in the world of modern age and mental health and all that, and the trigger words and things like that, like Drop the Celebrity, Linda just goes into an icy sweat.
It gives me anxiety as well.
It was just such an awful concept. You had to say who was the biggest celebrity, so you were trying to boast about things. And there wasn't anything to boast about, so we were lying and making things up. And then I remember in the final with Cheryl, I was going, well, I had Hello magazine in the delivery room 2 minutes after I had my baby, and like we were doing things like, and she turned around and twisted it, and she went, well, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done that. And she took the moral high ground, which wasn't the point of the show.
That's so like Cheryl.
It is, and she just when she won, but she didn't win because she
broke
Who was the loser there? Who was the loser there?
Well, not ITV. That gave him some press, didn't it? I think I remember that celebrity hierarchy thing. I was right at the bottom. Do you know what I mean? So I was straight off I think I was straight off after Lilani, the model, straight off after her.
Scott, you and me would have been the same. We'd have been trying to figure out what our name was.
Absolutely. Just actors, aren't we? That's it.
Yeah, just a job an actor.
But you did get thrown out the plane.
I did, yeah.
And did you like it?
You know what nobody tells you about skydiving? Hold your breath. So I had a panic attack. It's 45 seconds drop. Nobody mentions you can't breathe, do they? You're at maximum velocity, 130 miles an hour. You can't breathe.
So that's what you found. You see, I just wanted to vomit the minute I left the plane. Because it's like a ride in the amusements.
Oh, yeah,
Someone comes up and just keeps coming up.
It's terminal velocity. You're falling as fast as anything.
You are falling as fast as anything. So the guy, I'm pretty heavy. Do you know what I mean? I'm probably average 15 stone, and the guy that was doing it had to be bigger than me. Do you know what I mean? The tandem guy. Yeah. So he was about 17 stone. And so,
40 stone in average.
Yeah, so we were over 30 stone. So he pulls the parachute up, and he's like, "All right, we're all right." He's like proper struggling. So it was a little bit scary for the first 20 seconds of that. He was struggling. I don't know whether it's a weight thing, but he was struggling to keep control. And beads of sweat were seeming to. Something was hitting me on the head. I think it was his sweat.
Oh no!
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? The decision makers in television. What on earth? I mean, you can imagine somebody if they're being the worst case scenario in that situation.
Yeah.
I mean, the backlash and the outcome, and they would never work again in the world of television, would they?
Doesn't it?
Well, that's a prime example.
I don't think they'd probably do that anymore, would they? It'd be too expensive as well.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I just felt sick the whole drop before the parachute, and then after the parachute, he said, "Look at the lovely views," and I'm like, "Oh,
get me down." I was just like, "When am I getting paid?"
Yeah.
When do I get paid?
They said you've got to get your legs out the way because his legs are hanging.
That's right. Yeah. And then I did one.
It's really hard to do actually when your back's like that, to bring your knees up to your chest. So I grabbed my trousers and pulled them up, but obviously Cheryl didn't manage to do that.
No, she didn't. She landed on her ankle, didn't she? And that was it.
Her weight and the guy's weight.
Yeah. Oh God. Would you do it again? Would you do
No, never,
another? No, I
never.
wouldn't either. I'm like that. I'm like, I've done it now. I can say I've
Been
done
there,
it.
done that.
There
Yeah.
is no need to risk one's life to do it
There
again.
are certain things you don't need to do in life.
No, I can't say
No.
As
I
long,
enjoyed it. Some people came off and they absolutely loved it, but I didn't love it.
no.
I mean, again, I just had a bit of a panic attack. It was just a little bit unpleasant. If I did it again, I wouldn't do it again anyway because I've got a kid now, so I just don't want to
Yeah.
risk it. But if I did it again, I'd hold my breath. 45 seconds, done. But we were quite well
Yeah.
treated there because we were in a massive military plane, weren't we? So
Yeah.
the actual thing went down at the back like James Bond. It
The
wasn't like being,
Hercules.
yeah,
Yeah.
Hercules, a Hercules, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
it was full on. It was great. So Sam, I'm going to throw the first question to you, something I've been intrigued about
All
for
right.
years. Um, when you were growing
It
up,
wasn't me.
did you, it wasn't you, did you have a picture growing up of Linda, your future wife, on your wall?
No, I didn't. No, I
Did you
didn't.
not?
No,
I
for the
did.
simple
Sorry,
reason
just
that
saying, I did.
you and many others, mate. You and many others. No, for the simple reason that there was never enough room on the wall in the room that I shared with five other lads.
Oh, really?
I'm one of six lads. I've got two sisters. They were in the small front room. So, you know, it was just never enough room. You couldn't get across the floor, never mind reach the wall.
And it was
And in a
was
tiny
it Highton you were
height, and
born?
yeah, it
Yeah,
was
You
yeah.
were with me though, weren't you? Because
well,
you said to your mate.
yeah, there's a very, I'll abridge this as much as I can. I was on a cruise ship singing when I was in my early 20s. And one of the dancers looked like Joanna Lumley, and the
Yeah.
band leader was in love with Joanna Lumley. He looked like Buddy Holly, so he wouldn't normally get a kiss from a crocodile if he had a chance. Now he's fallen in love with this girl because she's her doppelganger. And he said to me, "What am I going to do, Sam?" So I said, "Well, ask her. What's the worst can happen? She'll say no." So he said, but Joanna Lumley is my dream woman. He said, well, it's not Joanna Lumley, but, you know, Sue might say yes. Anyway, long story short, she says yes. He went, I can't believe it. She said yes. He said, she's my dream woman. He said to me, who's your dream woman? I went, Linda Lusardi.
And
He
there it
went,
is.
well, who else? Who else? I said, no, I'm going to marry Linda Lusardi. He went, yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyway, 20 years goes by after this brief conversation. He has a great time with Sue. I go back on the ships as a separate entertainer. He's now the band leader on a different cruise line. And I spot this guy, right? I haven't seen him for 20 years. And I call him over and he went, oh my God, I can't say the words that he said because they're expletives. But you know, in layman's terms, he said, you jabby sod. He said, I can't believe you did. I said, I did tell you. I was going to marry Linda Lusardi. And lo and behold,
You manifested me.
well, yeah.
Well,
I did what
that
I
was
said, yeah.
manifesting before manifesting was a thing, wasn't it? Before The
It was, yeah.
Secret, Sam had been manifesting. How did you two meet them? Tell me about that.
He was the prince and I was Snow
Ah,
White in the pantomime.
Panto. So
Sounds
many.
like so idyllic, doesn't it? But I was
Yes.
married at the time, and his girlfriend was in the show. But
All right, that's tricky. That's tricky. We've all been there. We've all been
yeah,
there.
but we made best of friends, didn't we? And then when our relationships fell apart individually, we decided to give it a go.
Well, there'll be a lot of naysayers out there that just say that you'd had a fling and that was that. But it was an odd situation, Scott, because Linda's marriage had kind of reached its limits. And my relationship with my fiance, who was a dancer in that show, had reached the point where I'd already tried to finish it 3 or 4 times prior to this. And the icing on the cake was just, you know, the behavior throughout that situation.
Yeah.
And Linda and I were always together in the wings, always together on stage because we were, you know, hand in hand as characters, that we just ended up talking to each other all the time and soon very quickly became aware of each other's pitfalls in life. And, you know, and then we became really firm friends through misery, really. And, yeah, so I took advantage of that scenario. I wouldn't be right.
And that's the story we tell.
And that's the story.
What did you think of each other when you first met Linda? What did you think of Sam?
I remember we were talking about this the other day. I walked into the rehearsal room and the producer introduced me to everyone. They were all sitting down, and Sam stood up, and I went, "Oh, good! I've got a tall prince this year." And I just thought, he's a bit lush.
Oh, happy days. I can't believe Linda Lusardi fancies me. Scott, when she walked in the room, you know, when you see people in a picture,
Yeah.
and you're in show business, so you meet a lot of beautiful people, right? And then Linda walked in the room and it was like, oh, you know, when you can't look at someone because they're too good looking.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh.
That's what
nice.
it was. I was like, oh my God, I couldn't, your brain couldn't take it in. And also, I've got the evil eye looking at me as well. So I'm like desperately trying to look at anywhere else. Hi, nice to meet you. And then the worst thing was the director, and this is actually
True.
The director, when we were blocking one of the scenes, he said, now, when the kiss happens, I don't want any of this mamby-pamby kissing showbiz stuff. I want a proper kiss. We want it to be real. And I've gone, oh God, I'm in so much trouble. But then I'm so happy about it.
Would you say it was love at first sight, but you just didn't quite know it at the time?
I think it was more lust at first
First
sight,
sight.
wasn't
Well,
it?
that's a good starting point straight
And
Well,
then,
away.
and then it was friends at first sight,
yeah,
and then it was lovers, wasn't
yeah.
it?
Then it was blinded by everything else.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Linda, what
classic.
was the heady days of the 80s like for you? Talk us through your beginnings.
Do you know, I think I look back at them, and I don't know if I am looking in rose-tinted glasses, but it was just great fun.
Mm.
I think they were easy days. The money came easy. People had lots of money in the 80s. You got paid well for your jobs. I was traveling the world, had lots of like girlfriends that I'd go on these trips with. I was just having a ball, and every little milestone was it's such a shock to me, like a one-page Regal of the Year, and then I got my first play, and then I got awards for different things, and I did Pygmalion was my one of my first plays with real, Shakespearean actors and
Yeah.
actresses, and everything was so exciting, and I just enjoyed life. I can't find any negatives in it really. I didn't I suppose it was a lot better because there was no social media as well. So you
Yeah.
didn't get any backlash. If people didn't like you didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Well, you're allowed to go out and have a good time, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've forgotten them times, haven't we? That was going to be one of my questions later on, but I'll ask you it now. Do you think the industry has totally changed? I
Oh,
do. I
Yeah.
also I feel like the
absolutely.
things I was getting away. I'm not a naughty boy anymore, but back in the day when I was on Coronation Street, the things we got away with that we would not have got away with. Do you know what I
No,
mean?
no.
So
I
the
mean,
in
we were
Well,
out.
even us going together, we kept it out of the press for quite some time, but that was back in the 90s. So the vast amount of change that's happened since then is just,
Well, it's
yeah,
mobile phones, isn't it?
yeah,
I mean,
everyone's got a camera. They're all journalists, aren't they?
I was at Stringfellas and Tramps and all the nightclubs that were around in those days, and some of my behaviour wasn't always the best,
To be
and
fair, that's
but
why a lot of people,
nobody took a picture of it because
there's so many famous people we know now that, they've hit it hard, haven't they, with being found out about what they were doing.
yeah.
yeah,
That it's really, it's come home to roost. And thank God, that, they've actually been, they've paid for the
the
badges and deals that they've
the
done.
bad stuff. Yeah, yeah. Linda, so back in them days, in Stringfellas days, who was the biggest celebrity that you would have met from the 80s around that time?
Oh my God. Oh, I don't know.
Collins,
Joan Collins.
George
They were
Best.
all down Tramp getting drunk, weren't
Yeah.
they? George Best, yeah. Trying to think of anybody
Prince
else.
Andrew was never there.
I did
Prince Andrew
No,
was
he
never
was
Prince.
there.
too busy,
He
wasn't
was
he, on
on
Yeah.
albums and stuff?
he was in Pizza Express, on Pizza Express.
Yes, he was. Not
Not
sweating.
sweating.
um, what did you think being a model made it difficult, Linda, for you getting into acting, or was it
Yeah,
easy?
it did. Well,
Yeah,
it was a double-edged sword, really. People were interested in me because the public knew who I was, so they were keen to put me in something because they thought
mm,
it'd get bums on seats. But then they wouldn't take you seriously. But I worked really hard, treading the boards for many years, really,
yeah,
before I took on anything that was too heavy, and then um, just learnt the trade doing it,
yeah.
And a lot of the big actors have always said to me, you can either do it or you can't. You can't be taught to act. You
No, true,
can't. You can
true.
have as much training as you want, and you can't. If you haven't got it, you haven't got it.
Yeah,
So
There's the thing, Scott. You draw yourself on the length of your profession, don't you? Your
yeah.
career. How long have you been an actor, mate?
30 years.
Probably me the same,
Yeah,
35 years.
30 years.
Linda's
Yeah.
been an actor for 40 years.
Oh, really? Wow.
It's crazy, isn't it, that you've been
yes.
performing as an actress on
But
stage and on
it's still all anyone is interested in is the
yeah.
page 3 days. But I mean,
You
to
know
me,
what,
it's
though? They were
just
quite
another person.
halcyon days for people of a certain age. It wasn't just about page three. It was just the 80s in general seemed to be a really great time, didn't it? Do you know what I mean? 90s for me were really good as well with Oasis and
Yeah,
things
me
like that.
too.
But
Yeah.
got such fond memories. Anything after 2000 is not quite as
See, I'm the
good.
same. People ask me music questions after the year 2000. I'm like, I have no idea.
I have no
Nothing
idea
happened after
either.
it.
So Sam, so you've been an actor for a really long time, as we discussed before. And how did you get into acting? What was your
I
drive?
think it's just something I always wanted to do. I don't even think it was acting in the first sense. I just loved music from a very early age, from as long as I can remember, from being in a pushchair, and learning the words to songs, just being fixated by music, and then learning to just picking up an instrument and being able to play it without any
What do you
teaching,
play?
any
What do you play?
guidance. I play guitar every time I've sat in front of a
Yeah,
piano. I've taught myself to play,
me
just
too. Yeah.
gigging about and just messing about with these things. You know, you figure out how they work. And
Yeah.
my first guitar had 3 strings in it, and they were all in the wrong place and all tuned incorrectly. So then the next Christmas, I got a proper guitar that had 6 strings on it. So everything I'd learned badly on the 3 strings, I had to relearn on. So
I was going to say, how do you learn 3 strings? What? How does that
yeah,
work?
it's really weird. I was playing chords as well. I was playing chords on these 3 strings. All up and down. Yeah, it was bonkers. But yeah, it's just, I think it's a curiosity. I think it's just inbuilt in you, isn't it?
Yeah.
You either love it and follow that path, or you don't. But then when I was about 14, they brought drama into the curriculum at school.
Yeah.
And straight away, I was like, okay, this is where I belong. I love this. And within 5 minutes, I was taking the class. You know, the
Oh,
teacher said,
really?
"You're better than me. You take the class." So I come in with these ideas, and you know, we'd make these plays up, and then I'm a lead in the school play. And as soon as I left school, my next still institutionalized was theatre school, and then I was off and running. And
Which
I've only
theatre
been
school
out of
did you go
jobs since.
to?
It was a Liverpool Theatre School.
Oh, was it? Was
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Did
Small
you?
plays, dance and drama, you know.
So you got onto Brookside, and that's one of the things that you quite well remembered for. But did you know
Yeah.
Phil Redmond before that? Because he was born in Huyton, wasn't he?
No, I didn't know him. My family knew him, and it's a close community, I guess, the place where we're all from, you know. I mean, back in the day, everybody knew everybody.
Yeah.
So I knew who he was. My dad had worked in certain circles where he knew all the people that he knew as well. So there was always a knowledge from my end of him. He wouldn't have had a clue who I was, but it was just, I auditioned for a different part, Scott.
Did you?
Yeah, the breakdown of that part was a young, good-looking entrepreneur. That's what it said. So I
Nice.
went and read for the part, and they said to me, "We don't think you're right for that." And I went, "Which part?" They went, well,
The entrepreneur bit, obviously.
so you know, I was okay. They said, "But we really got a nice idea for another part. If you'd be interested." I said, "What's that?" They went, "We want you to play a gay hairdresser." I went, where'd you get that from that read through?" So yeah, that was, you know, and that was, I was off and running then. So that was it. You know,
So if we move forward with your career, you were in Corrie, weren't you? And that was quite a memorable role.
yeah,
Was that playing that role, which just for context was you were grooming
yeah.
Tina O'Brien's character, weren't you, Sarah Lou? Was that a difficult choice to do that, or
It was a
I mean,
considered choice. It was a
yeah, considered
considered
choice.
choice. I mean, a lot of people asked me to not go near it because of the potential aftermath. But at the time, it was one of those situations where the internet had only just got any kind of prevalence, and internet grooming had all of a sudden become a thing that was happening. You know, so we had the Home Office. Well, you know what the amount of lengths they go to at soap operas to
Mm.
get into the storyline to portray it correctly. So we had people from the Home Office talking to me about the potential of doing this, and you know, whether we should do it. And Linda and I were on the cover of lots of magazines at the time, weren't we? So we considered that we'd be a safe bet, that, you know, we wouldn't have any kind of backlash. And it came to fruition. So in the end, it was one of those, do I give up the potential of getting a bigger part further down the line? Because this is one that's not going to be really forgotten for a long time. And would I have done it again? I don't know. I don't know. I think sometimes you've got to take those challenges on. And if you consider yourself a character actor, you know, you just portraying a part, you just portraying a character that's, you know, it certainly isn't me.
Mm.
But
And
yeah,
Tina had it quite a say in who got the part.
yeah,
didn't
she
Oh, did
did.
she?
Yeah, she did. On the read through, there was me and one other actor that were up for the part, or certainly at this point. And I sat with him and the casting team there, and you know, read through and did my best shot. And Linda gave me a tip, actually. She said, before you go in, make sure you chat to Tina and explain to her that you're a family man, you know,
Yeah.
that you've got children, that, you know, you're blind. So I did all of that. And that kind of got me over the line. I mean, the acting was terrible, but
No, you were great. I remember it. What year was that?
um,
That was
ah,
after I'd finished, I think.
was it
About
about,
98.
Oh no, was it? Oh
no, it
no,
was after that.
I
It was
think
Oh,
it's
after
was it?
that. Yeah, it was about
2000. I think it's
2003 or
2003 or
something.
four.
Yeah, 2003 or
2003.
something. Yeah.
I think so. I remember watching it. It was really memorable. It was really, really memorable.
Did you know it was the first time they ever closed the show without the Coronation Street music?
No.
Yeah, it was Massive Attack. They played out with that.
Really?
Yeah. It was only on over one night, particularly,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because it was a half hour, then an hour special after the Watershed. And I've never even, I can't remember her name. She was a floor manager on there, dark-haired girl from Manchester. She had a boy's name like Stevie or,
Billy.
yeah, Billy. That's her, Billy. And I did the
Oh,
first
great
scene.
memory.
We were on location, so everything was single camera. So they have to shoot everything 3 times, as you know, when you're on location.
Yeah.
So I opened the door, and Sarah Lou's over my shoulder. The camera's there. Look, and we do the scene that way, and then we do it the other way. And she walks past me. The camera's now behind her, and and it follows her in. So on the reverse, as I turn around and she walks in, the camera's at the end of the hallway. And I don't even remember rehearsing this. I don't, it was just something I must have done in the character. And I turned around, and as she walked forward, I looked at her and I pulled up my pants, almost as if to say, like, okay, let battle commence. You know what I mean? Come on. And it was, looking back now, it's horrific.
Horrible.
Anyway, they stopped the take. That was in the can. And Billy popped her head around the corner and she said, "You make me sick."
Right.
And I went, "Was it that bad?" She went, "Sam, it was horrific, but it was brilliant." So I was like,
Right.
"Okay, good,
Great.
good."
Well, Tina
Yeah.
actually lives virtually next door to me, and oddly,
Say hello to her for me, won't you?
will do.
I
Yeah.
messaged her recently about her dad, bless her. She's a lovely girl, you know. She was
Yeah,
really
she's
good to
great.
me as well because it was quite a nervy time stepping into the
Yeah.
cobbles. It's a
No, it
big
is.
step up.
I remember we had Bill Roach here last week, and 94 now. It's insane. 94, 66 years
Wow.
on it.
It's unbelievable, isn't
And
it?
I was talking about my first day, and it's so weird going on a show like that because the women as well, the females are they're in character, so they might wear wigs, they've got the makeup on. So it's like Fantasyland, isn't it? So you see Rita there and she's in costume. It's just very strange
Yeah,
the first day.
Yeah.
And then it just becomes normal, doesn't it? Like
yeah,
anything
yeah.
else.
The
So
first time it hit me was when I stood at reception in the studios and I looked at that huge photograph behind the security people, you know, and I went, "Oh my God, this
wow.
is it.
I'm one of them.
This is it." Well, I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
not one of them, but I'm going to be, working alongside. And I've got to say, everybody, Helen Worth, Tina O'Brien, all of the team there were just so brilliant. It was
Yeah.
such a beautiful place to work.
Yeah, it is. It's great. I actually, we were talking about the pandemic before. Actually was probably going to go back in 2020 and about 4 days before the meeting. But
Oh
I
no.
know, I
Oh,
know.
mate.
And then
Oh,
things move on. I did actually get a meeting with them about 18 months ago, but Ian McLeod, was the producer, is now the exec producer. And because I'd tried so much, I think he thought, well, I'll just see Scott anyway. So saw him for a couple of hours, but he doesn't make the decisions anymore. So just one of
oh,
them,
Who
you know.
does?
Um, Kate Oates, is it? Is she
Oh,
the
right. Okay.
producer has the final
Yeah.
say. Believe it or not, you would expect the hierarchy to be the exec producer makes the mind up what
Well, they're
goes.
given the job to do and they've got to do the job, I suppose, you know.
Absolutely, yeah. So you guys have worked together primarily on Panto. Have you done anything
Yeah.
else together? What's the
yeah.
working relationship like?
I came in as Sam's leaving storyline in Brookside,
Oh, did you?
and then he came in as my leaving storyline in Emmerdale.
No way. Of course, because you were
Yeah.
both on Emmerdale, weren't you? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's mad, isn't it, mate?
Yeah.
It's mad. I mean, they used to do a film every year at Brookside, and it was the year that Paul Usher came back. I think it was called Friday the 13th. It was where my character got married to Claire Sweeney's character, Lindsay Corkill. But she was having an affair with Barry Grant behind his back. Anyway, my ex-love interest was now going out with my best man in the storyline, and that ex-love interest was Linda.
Yeah.
So, the fire was rekindled then, and
We had
yeah.
a steamy
Oh,
scene in the hotel
oh,
room.
you laugh about this, Scott. The bedroom in the hotel was a small, a regular double-sized bedroom. So you can imagine what it was like getting a film crew in there and the actors.
Absolutely. Yeah,
And
yeah,
all of a sudden, we've got to do this scene where Linda's just literally got a towel around her and we have a kiss on the bed and, we're rolling her around. And all of a sudden, there's 35 people in the room. And I'm like, why is catering in here? What are you doing in here? Wardrobe were in there. It was like, what the hell? What? Get out! I kicked everybody out. Just the boom operator and the cameraman.
It's always a bit awkward, isn't it? A little bit.
Well, especially when it's your missus. You know what I mean? All after a blimp.
And I said to him, "Why are you giving me a funny old screen kiss?"
That was weird. Yeah, that was weird.
Oh, so you gave a funny screen kiss instead of
Nah,
a
could you
full-on
kiss her
one.
properly? It was like it felt out of place. Felt like I was cheating on my wife.
So you've got two kids, Lucy and Jack, and they're both in the business in some way, aren't they? So tell us a bit about, you must be quite proud of
Oh,
that.
well, Jack, last year, he's got his own music. He's got several EPs on Spotify,
Brilliant,
writes
Scott.
music, plays everything. He's handsome. He's brilliant. He did a little tour of his own and sold out around the country.
Oh,
He's
amazing.
got lots and lots of followers. But you know what it's like when you're trying to break it in the music business. It
Hmm.
costs a lot of money, and
Yeah.
you don't make much money on your gigs. So his agent said, "Well, do you want me to put you up for something then?" So he said, okay. So in comes this self-tape for Miss Saigon, which is my favorite musical from
Yeah.
whenever. It's
Back in
like
the
when
80s,
back
yeah.
in the 80s. It's the only musical that the first musical I saw and I fell in love with. And he did a song from that. and I watched the self-tape and I just burst into tears. I said, Jack, you're going to get this. He said, oh, Mum, you say that about everything. And I said, no, honestly, you broke my heart singing that song. You could really feel it through his. And anyway, transpires he ends up getting it. He's on tour with that now, playing Chris, the romantic lead, and it goes into the West End next year.
Is that so? It's the Cameron McIntosh one, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's amazing.
Oh, if you get a chance to see it,
Oh, it's out of this world, mate.
Yeah,
absolutely epic.
How
I
you
don't.
think it's musical? It's just unbelievable. It's like watching a movie. It's
I don't
incredible.
think people understand how difficult it is to achieve that, and just how many people are going up for them parts. Do you know what I mean? Working for either Ken Wright or Macintosh or Andrew Lloyd Webber as
Yeah,
actors that you two, the chances of getting that, the chances of being available or right time, right place, and being good enough and having the right agent. So that's an
exactly.
amazing achievement, isn't
It
it?
is,
And
and
also the inclination to put the work in, to achieve the offer,
Mm.
They saw thousands, I mean, literally thousands of people
Thousands.
for that role. And we didn't find out until, long after he'd got it. And one of the great tributes, I think, to Jack, our son, is that Cameron said to him years ago, when this was just an idea, he said there was an American actor, I can't remember what the guy's name was. He said, but Cameron spoke to this guy, this American, I think he was a TV actor, and he said to him, I want you to play a role in this new musical that I'm having written at the moment. Anyway, he didn't, it transpired, he couldn't do it. He said, but Cameron said to Jack, I've been looking for him since. He said, and you came along and I found him finally.
Wow, that's
Which is
amazing.
just, yeah. I mean, honestly,
no,
the,
it's
the
very good.
accolades he's getting from the people he's working with, it's just, oh, it breaks your Scott,
He's
Yeah,
just
no,
really,
absolutely. Yeah. Is
and
Jack
I'll let you.
trained? Is Jack trained? Did he go to
He
Well, he
music?
went
went to
to
vocational school, didn't
went
he?
to drama school, but he wasn't trained as a singer.
Not
He's all
musical theatre, no.
no, both Lucy and Jack have sung all their lives, haven't they?
Yeah.
And Lucy, she well, a few years ago she did The Voice and got on Team
Of
Tom
course. Yeah.
and got signed. But she decided really to step back from it a little bit. Not
She
only
wasn't comfortable in the spotlight. She
no,
didn't want to be
she
front and
didn't
center.
like the business, so she's been back in singing, arranging harmonies for shows and different things. But she back in sings for Claire from Steps and loves that, and with Louise Redknapp, and but she front sings for Ministry of Sound,
Oh,
with their
wow.
big 50-piece orchestra and everything.
Yes.
She's
Yeah.
amazing.
That's
Yeah,
an
she's an
amazing
incredible singer.
that's an amazing piece of art, that as well, isn't it? It sounds all that dance music with
Have you
the
been to
Oh,
it, Scott? Have you seen it?
I've seen it on YouTube. I've not been, but I've seen it on
well,
YouTube.
look up Lucy Kane, and I think one of her first on Instagram is her singing out front with them, and it's just epic, isn't it?
I think it's coming to close to Manchester soon. I'll have a word with Lucy, see if she can help you out.
Oh yeah, please.
Yeah.
I'd love a good
Because that's
free
right up
ticket.
your
You know
street,
what I
isn't
mean?
it? Yeah.
Yeah, I love a good
Yeah.
freebie. Throw it
And
my way.
also it's all music from our era.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
fantastic show as
yeah, it
well.
is.
But it's a proper full orchestra, and sometimes they have the actual singers of the songs from the
Yeah,
back
yeah,
in the
yeah.
day who
No,
come
it's
on.
epic. I
Oh,
think that's the kind of gig that goes to Bridgewater Hall and stuff, isn't it, in
yeah.
Manchester?
Well, we
Yeah,
saw it at the Albert Hall, didn't we?
yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was, mind blowing.
We just like we spend our life in tears, don't
Yeah,
we?
we're our kids' groupies now. We don't have a
Yeah.
career anymore. We're just sat there in the background going, "Didn't we do this once?"
It's amazing though that they've followed on and they've stuck with it. How old are they both?
Lucy's 29 and Jack's 26.
Still young. That sounds so young nowadays, doesn't it, for
Yeah,
us?
it's funny, isn't it? It does. Like I was 26 when I met Linda, and I was 29 when the first baby was born. Our kids feel like they're just out of nappies.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
I mean, you both look ridiculously young, by the way.
Oh, so do you, but you haven't changed at all.
Appreciate that. 52 in October.
No, you don't look
Yeah,
52.
thank you, Linda. I
Pulse
appreciate
rate's
it.
still in the attic because you look really well. You're
Well,
making me a bit.
I look after myself these days. Do you know what I mean? I don't think any of us did when we were growing up, did we, in
No, we
TV?
didn't.
It was,
No,
I don't drink anymore, so that helps, you
Do you
know.
know what I
we
find,
don't drink
Scott? And
much.
I'm going to say this about you. There's not many people there's quite a few people you meet, but there's also the other side to that. And then there's people you come back to and you go, I really got on with you every time I met
Thank
you.
you, Sam.
You were just a
Likewise.
really nice bloke,
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Good lad.
Thank you. You're going to make me cry. Um,
Oh, how many children have you got?
just got one, Lexi. Yeah,
Oh,
she's 16. She's got a boyfriend. Whoop. So yeah, she lives in Huddersfield. I see her all the time. So it's all good, yeah. But I think I made a film actually a few years ago, and and it's actually done quite well. It's gone around the world. It had Jason Fleming in it, so I produced it and I
Okay.
starred in it. And it's on
Oh,
Amazon all
well
around
done
the world.
you.
Thank you. And I actually thought about trying to get her into the film and be an actress, but she was never interested. I'm quite glad actually. Do you know what I mean? It's such a tough business, but
It is, yeah. It's
she
a
wants,
heartbreaking
yeah,
business.
she wants to be like a scientist and an astrophysicist. So it's
Oh,
completely
she's
different.
clever.
Yeah, yeah, she
Get
is
us all
clever.
out of here. Get us all
Yeah,
out of this mess.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So going back to you two, how have you kept this amazing marriage going on for so long? What's your secret?
I just do as I'm told, Scott.
Absolutely the best answer.
Not fair.
Honestly, I'm just really well trained.
No, I think it helped that we were friends
Yeah,
first. We share the same sense of humor, and I don't know, we just rub along together without
Yeah.
any kind of issue. It's
And
just
also,
fun.
there's been certain things, you have the kids and stuff, and you grow through that, and it either takes you apart or it brings you closer. Then there was the COVID thing, so they're nearly losing Linda on a couple of occasions. Is really, you
okay.
realize what you've got. It's not like you need reminding, but there's always a reason that these things happen, and those things really do bring you closer together. And we're pretty much inseparable at the moment, aren't
Well,
we?
I don't want to go in.
We Since Christmas, we literally have spent every day, every minute of every day together,
We
and
have.
That's
yeah,
great.
but that's kind of testament that you're getting on all right,
Yeah,
She's my
absolutely.
best mate, Scott. You know what it's like, but
Well,
once you find your one, yeah, that's it.
that's lovely to hear. That really is. That really is. So, a couple of quick fire questions. Who's the most impressive person you've both met in
No, I thought
showbiz?
you say out of each.
Who's the most
You
impressive
can't
at the
say you
moment?
can't say each other. So who's the most impressive person? Whether it's an actor, it's a pop star, it's a
I
politician.
know mine. I know mine. I was saying this the other day because he's just reached 100 years old.
Oh,
Sir
David
David
Attenborough.
Attenborough.
yeah.
And I was at a charity event and I was grabbing my coat at the same time as him because he was giving a speech or an award at the event. And just being in the same room as him is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
But then I get my coat and I thought, oh my God, it's David Attenborough. You can't miss that chance. And I
No.
just turned to him and I just said, Sir David, I'm never going to get a chance to say hello again. Can I please just shake your hand because you're a legend? And he said, oh, of course, dear boy. Shook my hand. He said, nice to meet you. What's your name? And he was just everything you'd hoped
Lovely.
he would be. Yeah. So, yeah, I think
Well, the
that's.
only person that's ever left me speechless was Donny Osmond.
Really?
Only because only because he used to be all over my bedroom wall. I was a massive, massive fan. And then I went to an audience with ITV, and Alison Hammond kept some of the ones the people back that were really big fans of his, and we were being interviewed doing like, little pops, box, whatever they call them, box pops. And then she said, "Oh, we've got to go. They're starting." So we went down the corridor, and as I went down the corridor to the studio, there was Donny Osmond being filmed in the corridor in his dressing gown, and I went, "Oh, oh, oh!" I said, "You don't know, no, you don't know who I am, but I'm a big fan." And he said,
You fell to pieces, didn't
"Yeah,"
you?
I said, "I couldn't even speak, stupid woman." And he said, "Oh, I do know who you are." I said, "No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't." And the cameraman was whispering. He said, "You're Linda." I said, "You told him." Anyway, it all went funny. And I went, "Oh, have a good night." And then I went to the studio, didn't I? I came, sat down next to you, and you
Oh,
went, "What's the matter with you?"
honestly, she was sweating.
Just, and then there was a camera break. They stopped filming. It was Donnie and Marie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then he went, "Oh, Linda, yes, I've just Googled you." And I went, "Oh, I'm really sorry. What with you being a Mormon and everything?" Just,
What
just,
a star, though.
oh,
What a star, though, Scott.
No,
I mean, you had to see him in Vegas, didn't
yeah,
you?
we did. And he's not lost any of it.
Unbelievable
he
talent.
still look. How old's he? He still looks
I think
He's
he's
crazy.
older than David
over
Attenborough.
Yeah, I
67.
think he is actually. Yeah, he's been around longer, hasn't he?
No, he's 67.
He looks
Is he?
amazing. He
Yeah,
looks
he does.
amazing, doesn't he?
He does.
Okay, so favorite time, favorite job, favorite acting job. So that would, when I said time, it could be Corrie, it could be Pygmalion, it could be whatever. What's
I
your,
think
your
it
favorite
probably
job?
would be, I had a tick list, and I think soap being in a soap was one, and to do Emmerdale was great, and it was great training for me. As you know,
Mm.
it's like being at school. You've got lines to learn, and got to be on the ball and be there, and people waiting on you all the time. So I think probably getting Emmerdale was a big
Yeah,
one for
because you were
me.
in that for a year, weren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I guess likewise. I'm sorry, Scott. Go on.
It's a great set, that, isn't it? What
yeah,
years were you
yeah.
in that? I did it in 2006. after I'd left Coronation Street. I loved the set. It was Coronation Street at the time was like you'd touch it and it'd wobble. Do you know what I mean?
Oh no,
So, yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember my very first scene. I had to walk into the wall pack and confront somebody in the booth, and I thought, oh, good, they're doing the back shot first, and like we did it all, we rehearsed it all, and then like it said, ready, almost ready, right, okay, and then the back wall went out, so the camera was on me, and I thought, oh no, it is a close up of my face. I didn't know the wall moved, but yeah, yes, no, I had a lovely time. What year was it? It was about 2007, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just after I'd been in
2007.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I played a gangster called Gary Dench who smashes up the wool pack and beats Marlon up. Yeah.
Oh,
I've
So
played a few Garys. There's
you've
loads of Garys in soap,
there's
isn't there?
loads of Garys. Yeah.
Yeah,
Gary and
there's a
Terry
couple of
in
Garys.
Brookside.
With Barry and Terry, wasn't
Barry and Teddy.
it? Barry and Terry, yeah.
but my daughter was called Lexi
Oh,
in
really?
Emmerdale. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
oh, wow. Okay. It's a great name. It's a great name. It's a great name. Sam,
It's a
what
great.
about you? What about your favorite
I
job?
think, all the things that you did afterwards were because you did what you did, and it's got to be Brookside.
Yeah.
Because, there was lots of boxes that I ticked after that, but getting the launch pad of that was just massive. And what
Yeah.
was amazing about that show was we'd go to the soap awards, as the current cast, and pretty much every other actor from every other soap would come over, make a beeline for the Brookside cast because they all wanted to be in Brookside because
Yeah.
it was real, it was like the soap that everybody, tuned into, and it's just a massive part of my life. And what's crazy about it, Scott, was I met Linda that Christmas and I got Brookside the following summer, but I moved down to London where Linda lived, having moved 10 minutes from where the
Oh,
studio was.
oh, of
So my
course.
commute
Yeah.
went from being literally I could walk to work to
Yeah.
4.5 hour
Yeah.
drive.
So high
The
tech
irony.
Guildball's literally a walk, isn't it?
Well,
Really, it's
well,
not.
listen, the consolation is,
Yeah.
is quite apparent,
I
but
mean, you were winning in life that few years, weren't you? Do you know what I mean?
one of my mates said to me the other day, stop
Absolutely
winning.
winning. How many years were you in Brookside for in total?
About 3 years, yeah.
Was it? I felt like it was longer.
Yeah, well, I felt like it was longer because it was, what's odd, Scott. You'll know this as well. The audience decide who they make famous. You have no say in it, because there's so many soap actors you see afterwards, and you go, "He was in what?" You just don't know who they are.
No,
It's really weird.
I
You don't
don't.
go in for fame. You go in because of the love of the job, right?
Correct. Yeah, I don't know who's in soaps these days. I don't. I mean, back in I don't know how many. What was Brookside getting? 8 million.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of people.
Corrie was getting 18 when I was in it, so the audience has totally changed, hasn't it?
Yeah,
And
I
I
think
haven't.
I think they're losing people like in drones, aren't they? Because now that
television's on its way out, isn't
yeah.
it, as we know it? I think that's the thing. Are you still doing it, Scott? Are you still working? Are you still actively
Well,
searching?
I made the movie The Stoic. Went to America a bit. I've had a load of near misses. I've not had an agent for a long time. I didn't like self-taping, and I felt as though, what's the point?
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I felt like, what's the point? Do you know what I mean? Because I'd done like 300 self-tapes and never got one, and I'm good.
Yeah,
I've been a
yeah,
long time. So
fantastic actor.
I didn't take. I just thought, actually, are they actually watching these self-tapes? And my
Yeah,
theory on this is really, as an actor, is that unless you've got one of the top 10 agents, they haven't got time to see all the self-tapes.
no, of
So
course they haven't.
if you're going to go and buy a pair of trainers, you're just going to go and get Adidas, Nike, or Puma or whatever, and that's the problem.
Yeah,
So no, I haven't been doing any stuff, but
So you've been
I
doing your own stuff.
do
You've
my
been
own
making
stuff.
that,
Yeah,
that is really admirable.
yeah. And that film has gone all around the world to Japan and Spain and North America, South America, Africa, everywhere. So I ticked that box, and I'm not saying I wouldn't do it again, but making a movie, a lot of
Oh,
arguments, a lot of stress, a lot of corrupt people in America as well. Do you know what I mean? So that's
buddy,
just
when you step foot on the other side, you
Mm.
realize just how much is going on, and you realize that you've got a pretty easy life as an actor.
Oh my God, it's yeah, yeah, totally easy,
Different, in it? Very different the other side of the
totally easy.
spectrum.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of the selling it, I kind of did all myself, but it's a long story. It's a story for another podcast, but it was we got a bit shafted, and it was a lot of aggro. But I'm looking back in reflection, I'm quite proud I did it, and
Yeah,
got to work with Jason Fleming, who was one of my my acting idols, a proper actor who's still making movies, still working with people, and going all around the world. So yeah,
Yeah,
So
he's
the
a
answer
great
to that,
actor. Didn't he
great
do that
actor.
thing with Jack Rowan? Lucy's boyfriend is a big actor. Jack Rowan. He did
Which
it was what's the Jam song?
oh
Sky.
this time
Yeah, Town Called Malice. Jason Fleming was in.
Correct, yeah, for Sky.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
no,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
his
yeah,
father, the
yeah.
yeah,
grey haired
Exactly.
chap.
Dad, yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
The
He's.
lead guy in that is our daughter's boyfriend, Jack.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Yeah, so
I know who
he's
you're talking about. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, that's great. He's a good actor, him. Really good
he
actor.
is. He's doing really well. He's
Yeah.
done Peaky Blinders, and
Oh,
he's out
wow.
doing a movie. Well, not a movie. It's a series now in Ireland.
speak.
Yeah,
Busy boy.
great, great. Couple of last questions for both of you. Um, Linda, Sam, what would you say to your younger selves?
Um, I'd say get into acting a little bit earlier, and keep your clothes on.
I'm sure a lot of men in the 80s would argue not to do that, but
I'm one of them.
yeah, I was going to say you're definitely one of
Yeah,
them.
I'm all of them. What would I say to myself? I'd just say, pay more attention, is what I'd say. Pay more attention and step back, learn a bit more.
Yeah,
I'd like to have learned a lot more about the other side of it a lot earlier because I always had a penchant for that, but just enjoying myself and doing my job. It's a hard job, isn't it? So focusing on anything else while you're doing the job ain't the
it
easiest
is.
thing in the world.
Absolutely.
And
Good.
what would you say to your younger self, Steve?
Well, it'd be don't worry. Just stop worrying. I still worry now. Do you know what I mean? So I always ask these questions at the end, and a lot of actors would say don't worry. I've
Yeah.
not managed to grasp that concept just yet, but I've got another 30, 40 years to work it out. So I'll keep
Yeah.
doing that. But yeah, so don't worry because actually nothing really bad happens, does it particularly?
No,
No.
no. It's funny because I'm kind of like philosophical. I saw something today that said, there's only today. Yesterday's gone, it's history. Tomorrow hasn't happened yet. So you literally, that's it. So if you're happy today, then you're happy for the rest of your life. Just try and replicate it the
Yeah,
next day.
absolutely. I saw a good one on Instagram the other day about in 100 years, no one
Oh,
will remember you. In 200 years, then they've got this guy, he's sat in a graveyard for 100 years looking at gravestones. In 200 years, all the gravestones have disappeared. In 300 years, not even your great, 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 great. And that's not a negative that's
no.
about living in the present, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not worrying about stuff. So
Yeah.
I kept that on my phone. I might make him a screensaver instead of my cat.
Yeah. And there was one I saw on Instagram that said, when you're lying in bed and you're worrying and you're thinking, oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? Just say to yourself, who are you talking to? There's nobody listening except yourself. So just go to sleep. It's
Yeah.
not nothing you talk
No,
about now is
that's
gonna.
me. I'm saying that. That was me.
Oh, was
Yeah,
it?
that was me.
And no one's watching either.
Talking
No one's watching as well. No one's watching. We all think
That's it.
people are talking about us and watching, and nobody's watching.
Nobody cares.
Nobody
You've
gives a
got
toss.
people, especially women, they worry so much about, oh, what if my nails aren't right? Well, nobody cares.
I said that to Lucy when she was about 14. She said, "Oh, Dad, I can't go out. I've got a spot on my face." I went, "Lucy, nobody cares."
Nobody
She said,
cares.
"What do you mean? Everybody?" I said, "No, they're all worried about themselves,
They
just
are.
like you.
It's
Nobody will look at your spot. Nobody cares."
Nobody cares.
I was lucky because I was the back end of a big family, Scott. So I got to watch all of their lives go through. And maybe I was just observing from a young age. I don't know whether I've been here before or whatever, but I've always been lucky that way. I mean, I do worry about things, but I'm not.
Mm.
You're a worrier, aren't you? And
Yeah.
Scott, you worry about
Oh,
things. You sit there and you ponder and you just think, what's the point?
What
no.
birth sign are you, Scott?
Libra. Libra.
Oh,
Jack's a Libra, isn't he?
is it?
October.
Yeah, October the 2nd. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Well balanced, apparently, with the scales, a chip on both shoulders.
Put a lift in one shoe to even out the height.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, final question for you both. What does the future hold for Sam and Linda?
Oh my goodness me. Well, I'm slowing down now. I've signed for Panto. I'm in Crawley this year. Get the plug in, otherwise I get in trouble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've done that theatre as well. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so I've got work at the end of the year. But do you know what? People say, "Oh, aren't you? Why aren't you doing?" I really don't mind. I'm enjoying my house, my garden, and I
Hello.
just what? Oh, and then my husband.
Yeah,
Yes, I mean,
Yeah,
of course,
yeah, you
of
should have
course,
said
my
that
husband.
first.
Yeah. No, we as long as we're happy and healthy, that's all really that matters. Because you
Yeah,
can't do anything else if you're not that.
true,
yeah,
true.
yeah. And the same thing for me, Scott. I'm just taken my foot off the gas. I will never give up. I don't think you ever give up being an actor. It
No.
gives you up, if anything else. I've been away from it for quite a lot of time because of COVID and what have you. So I'm really looking forward to getting back in
Yeah.
You did
on the
film
lower levels.
last
No,
Christmas, didn't you?
just getting back in and just working.
Yeah.
Because funny you said to me, because I've directed quite a few things. Linda said to me, "You're not going to be able to keep your mouth shut on the job I've just done at Christmas." And I said, "No, I'm just going to sit back and just enjoy it." And it was just lovely, just having none of the pressure, learn my lines, get up, do it, sit back down, and you realize how good you had it when you didn't have the
Oh, I
responsibility.
know, I know. I mean, I didn't do a panto last year. I don't even think I'm be doing one this year, but I probably did 22 years in a row,
Yeah.
and I got to quite enjoy just doing that. Do you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
if
Yeah, because the
if you have a
money's
little,
good.
yeah, just if you have a little job in the year and do a bit of theatre or television, then you do a panto at the end of the year. It's probably as an actor the most you can expect these days, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah,
And I do,
absolutely.
I've got a photographic studio in the garden, so I do a lot of photographs of people
Yeah.
as well.
And you DIY. You're a DIY
I'm a
genius, aren't you?
DIY. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't stop doing that
He is
now.
brilliant at everything.
That's
Everything.
good.
But
You've got it
I love
sorted,
doing
Sam.
the
I have, mate.
pictures.
Guys, thank you so much for coming on. It's so good to speak to you again. It's been years, and
Yes.
the years have flown by, haven't they? But you still
They
look great.
really have. They
Yeah,
really have. You look
can't thank
fabulous,
you enough.
Scott.
Thank you.
Bless you, Scott. Thank you so much.
Thank
Take care,
you.
mate.